Welcome back to another explainer. I want to kick off our time together today by asking you to think about a mystery. What if I told you there is literally one single hidden source that controls absolutely every outcome in your life? A hidden spring that dictates your success, your failures, the quality of your relationships, and the depth of your inner peace. I know it sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But as we're about to see in our source material today, this hidden source is incredibly real, and honestly, the stakes could not be higher.
Have you ever actually wondered what truly dictates the direction of your entire life? I want you to imagine, just for a second, reaching your final moments. You're looking back, trying to trace the invisible current that directed every single decision, every relationship, and every outcome you've ever experienced. What was the driving force behind all of it? It's a profound, maybe even slightly shocking thought. But there is an undeniable map to that current. Our sources today provide a roadmap that warns us about something far more shocking than most people believe regarding how our lives actually unfold.
Let's ground this in a reality we've all experienced. Picture this scene. The day is finally over. The room grows completely silent. The phone finally stops buzzing. You lay your head on the pillow, just hoping for some rest. But the noise remains. It's in this highly vulnerable, quiet moment at night that the external noise of the world stops, but internal worry suddenly steals your sleep, and that quiet creep of comparison just totally robs you of your joy. We all know the world isn't always fair, and feeling overwhelmed in the dark is a universal struggle. But why exactly does this happen?
Well, the answer lies in what the sources reveal today. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Now listen, I want to promise you something right off the bat. By the end of this explainer, we are going to shift this verse from a simple, often repeated cliché into an actual, life-changing revelation. We're going to uncover the absolute mystery behind this ancient wisdom. Because this isn't just nice poetry. This text holds the incredible truths and the exact secrets to unlocking true resilience and profound purpose in your daily life.
All right, moving into part 1, the litmus test of spiritual truth. Let's dive right into this.
The reality is, there's an active, ongoing battle for your heart. Because everything flows from it, your heart is under constant siege. Which means we desperately need a reliable litmus test for the massive amount of inputs we receive. Get this, the average person processes tens of thousands of individual thoughts every single day. That is a ton of input. And when we examine the sources, a fascinating duality emerges within all those thoughts. We are constantly caught between two opposing forces, the voice of truth and the noise of the day. Think of them as two very different teachers fighting for your attention. The voice of truth, which the text equates to God's word, fundamentally builds you up. It steadies what anxiety once shook. On the exact opposite side, the noise of the day is literally designed to tear you down. It breeds anxiety, it distracts you, and it completely depletes you.
And this brilliantly illustrates the concept of the heart as a literal spring. What we let into our hearts directly determines what flows out into our emotions and our outcomes. If your input is gratitude, the outcome is that patience replaces frustration. If your input is constantly replayed hurts, replaying the same old arguments, the unavoidable emotional result is bitterness. But when your input is God's word, it creates a profound peace that stabilizes you. It's a direct mechanical swap. What goes in is exactly what comes out.
Now, there is a massive misconception here that we absolutely need to debunk right now. What does it actually mean to guard your heart? Let's look at fantasy versus reality. The fantasy, which is pretty often pushed by popular culture, is that guarding your heart means isolating yourself, building massive walls, hiding away from the world, and just avoiding getting hurt by people at all costs. But what the text actually reveals is entirely different. The reality is that guarding your heart is about paying active, strict attention to what you let in. It's about being an intentional gatekeeper of your mind, not a hermit hiding from society.
Which brings us to part 2, silencing destructive voices.
So the crucial point here is that we must recognize the silent threats that are slipping past our gates. Our sources give us highly specific diagnostic signs to identify these destructive inputs so we can systematically shut them out. Because if we don't silence them, they're just going to continue to poison the spring. First, use the sleep and joy test. Ask yourself, does a specific voice or thought steal your sleep with worry or rob your joy through comparison? If so, it's destructive. Second, watch for the replayed hurt cycle. Does an input keep you constantly reliving past grievances, feeding bitterness instead of allowing for healing? And third, apply the teardown standard. If the input you're receiving doesn't reflect love and truth, or if it actively tears you down rather than builds you up, it fails the standard. These are your undeniable red flags, guys.
And here is the absolute most empowering part of this entire analysis. One. Just one. Making literally one simple change today can completely shift what flows out of your life tomorrow. You don't have to overhaul your entire existence overnight. Nobody can do that. You just need to make one intentional, immediate decision right at the gate of your heart.
Okay, moving right along to part 3, Tending the Spring, Daily Rhythms.
So how do we actually do this? Let's move from the theological concepts into some highly practical application. Here is your concrete roadmap, derived directly from the text, to implement these profound truths into your daily life, starting the second this explainer ends. Step 1. Prioritize spiritual input. This means actively choosing to start your morning with God's Word before you allow the crazy noise of the day to enter your mind. Set that baseline early. Step 2. Shift your communication. Intentionally practice turning your complaints into prayers. This is a total game changer. It moves your focus from the source of your frustration directly to an ultimate source of support. And Step 3. Set mental boundaries. Have the strength to actively close the door on destructive thoughts. Actually, scratch that. You are the gatekeeper. When a replayed hurt pops up, just close the door on it.
Now, what's really interesting about this next point is the ultimate guarantee it provides for your external life. Everything downstream flows from there. Think about it. When you tend this internal spring, you basically guarantee relational harmony. It ensures that what inevitably spills out onto your family, your friends, and your coworkers is patience, joy, and love, rather than anxiety and bitterness. By simply managing your internal spring, you dictate the entire reality of your external relationships. It's incredible. Which brings us to a really critical moment of decision. I want you to ask yourself honestly, right now, what is flowing into my heart most, and where is it taking me? Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. This is an urgent decision you need to make today. Will you continue to let the random, chaotic noise of the day dictate your path toward anxiety, or will you take control and start tending the spring right now?
If this message resonated with you, please don't let the journey stop here. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you literally never miss an inspiring story or an essential explainer like this one. Share your own thoughts, your struggles, and your stories in the comments below. Let's build a real, supportive community of believers right here. And most importantly, I strongly urge you to share this message with someone who desperately needs some encouragement and peace today. Be a light in their world. I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Your heart is a spring that waters the rest of your life. What are you allowing to fall into the water today?